It's in Hawick, an hour and a half away from Edinburgh in the south of Scotland, that Barrie, the cashmere label that dates back to 1903 and bought by Chanel in 2012, produces and develops a savoir-faire that unites tradition with modernity. Today the label has become a luxury brand, creative and flourishing, developing its own collection as well as providing for the biggest fashion houses.
What Chanel brings to Barrie is a know-how, an understanding of the fashion business. We're no longer a Scottish knitwear company, we're becoming a fashion company. We have over 60 of the most modern knitting machines in the factory, and the other thing that we've invested in very heavily is people, which this industry didn't do for a long time. But the whole ethos of Chanel and the métier d'art is that the skills have to be there for the future, and not just for 1 or 2 years, but for the next 20, 30 years. So we now have a training school, we have lots of young people learning the hand skills. So these are the things that Chanel are really bringing to the company. It used to traditionally be Mongolia was the best. At the moment the fibre in central China is slightly better. This can vary year on year, so we always look to get the best fibre possible. But the reality is, 1 cone, 1 kilo, 160 euros. We're not thinking so much about, oh, how much will this sweater cost? Oh, we need to buy machines. We want to create the dream. In Scotland, we know how to make fantastic product, but I don't think we're particularly good at letting people know. We tend to knit much more tightly than the Italian or the Chinese. This makes the garment stronger and more stable, so it won't lose its shape so quickly. We also wash very differently. We are very fortunate that the Scottish water is fantastic for cashmere. Most people think of whiskey. We don't have to add chemicals, so to get the Scottish touch, it's just pure water. You have an almost invisible join, and if you see here how fine all of the points are, so she has to run the selvage, the edge, and each stitch into 1 point. Here you can see the different types of relief that we have. And again, this is something that we really are specialists in, the whole 3D knitting. For sure we're using traditional skills, but we're using the best machinery possible. Our team here of programmers and knitters, again, have developed this process themselves, and we're much further on than anybody else. We're pushing the machines to the limit of what's technically possible at all times.